Hi, this is Jessica Haygate. I'm the technology editor of Campaign US and I'm here at CES 2024. In this video, I'll talk to a range of advertising executives about practical use cases of AI, how it's transforming the industry, and where the technology may be overblown.
Like a hype cycle, we're actually starting to see real applications, not only on the product side, but also in the marketing and advertising side, especially in healthcare, that I've been really impressed with, of seeing how we are using Gen AI to really help patients and making consumer applications where they can really start to think about diagnostics in the home that's beyond just what your watch can do.
There will be opportunities generated in AI. There will be opportunities offered in copywriting and visualization, in hyper-personalization, in media planning and buying, in general efficiency, and what I think is the most exciting part, which is the democratizing of knowledge, the spread of knowledge inside companies. I think of it as being very helpful, because if everybody in our organization can know what everybody else knows, that's a benefit. So it flattens an organization, makes it more efficient, less cumbersome, and much more agile, which you have to be in a fragmented world where technological change is so important.
So when we talk about in advertising, it has a lot to do with business process automation, right? And so the entire part of the advertising ecosystem, from planning to activating through automation, through automated measurement or self-service tools, those can all be enhanced through these new tools and technologies. It's something that is absolutely in focus, but I don't think it's in focus in the way that when people say AI, they think generative AI. I think in the advertising business, when you're outside of the creative realm, what we're talking about is actually how you operate the business and the tools that are used there.
I wouldn't say that we have nailed it yet with marketing, but we're really excited about a few things. One is using AI as a way to really make sense of the volume of data that is out there around our brand, and as I said, find opportunities to tap into hobbies and topics that are really interesting for our community, and allowing AI to help to surface that. The second thing I think is, AI is really good at taking care of tasks that are very time consuming. For example, with performance marketing these days, the game is very much around creating as many assets as you can in order to feed the machine that will then figure out how best to optimize on those assets to recruit new audiences for Duolingo. But creating a volume of assets takes a lot of time, and we believe AI can help us to do that in a way that is much more faster and practical, by creating different cuts of different assets or helping to localize assets in multiple languages.
What AI can do is help us process content in a way that we've never been able to in the past. So with that in hand, then, I think we can really change, and we can actually create a better experience in what people are seeing.
One use case that I found really interesting as well that we're looking into is how AI can help us to create more CGI type content for social. We've seen some great brands having big success, this year, like North Face taking over Big Ben in London, for example. I think with the use of AI and CGI coupled there, we can do stunts, that are not as difficult to pull off.
But the creator economy is looking at AI as an incredibly important tool, just from the standpoint of creating more and more interesting videos for YouTube or TikTok or wherever it may be.
I do think when you walk around the show floor, you see that pretty much everything is powered by AI. I think there's a lot of marketing going on there. And if we think about AI as something that is learning, is doing things that couldn't be done before through algorithms or models, there's probably not as much real AI going on in these products and discussions as maybe the promise holds, and we'll see more of that in the future.
If it's not directed properly, and if the human involvement isn't there, is the potential for bad stuff to happen? Sure. Do I see that as where we're going? No, because I think as humans, we're finding the right method of managing to avoid this going the way of the dark side.
So we have used AI, but what we've realized is that there are some limitations. Some of the challenges are about biases that are already existing in some of the AI models. And so a lot of the work, when we actually integrate them, if you don't actually put in some more filters, some more work and human interaction, then you actually really might be amplifying some of those biases.
At the heart of a lot of the conversations that I've been having with clients, and I was even on a panel with Microsoft and Adobe, is this idea of trust and transparency, and knowing that we're all coming into a very very unique election year and election cycle, not just in the US, but globally with.
So people with established businesses are always going to say that technological change will not impact their business and they can take advantage of it. John Maynard Keynes may prove to be right. I think he wrote in 1933 that automation would mean we'll be on holiday for longer, and I think probably that's the implication of what we're seeing. And if you put that together with what's happening on work from home and work from anywhere and dispersed working, with AI I think you'll see greater fluidity in the labor market. But net, I think it will be a destroyer.
I think this isn't the technology that's going to replace people. I think it's the technology, as I said on the stage, the what if technology. I think it's going to allow us to expand our horizons. That doesn't mean the person, the human, is out of work or less necessary. It means that you've enhanced and you've given them tools to find other things and other opportunities within the context of their day job. There will be circumstances where there'll be unintended negative impact. I think what's been downplayed is the plus up that AI can give you as a human, not the degradation.
We don't see AI as a replacement for human. I think, as I said, we really see AI as a tool to help us accelerate the work that we do. And then, the human eye and the human skill set is really unique. Really what AI helps us to do is to, provide some baseline content that is very imperfect, but it saves us, time to actually create that. Like the human interaction comes from refining and optimizing and enhancing that content, but it's definitely not something that comes from AI and is ready to be surfaced to our consumers at all.
We are using AI in ways on the back end, especially where we are increasing some of the efficiency. When you are looking at things like data labeling, we've got 5 billion images on Pinterest, and what we really want to do is understand what is in those images so that we can offer the best product. And that work of doing that and analyzing what's in it, that content, AI really helps with that process.
The world realizes that you've got to do this right and get it right because of the potential, if you get it wrong, could be devastating. And so I think that's where self-regulation in this case is the right way to do it. My fear is when you get the government involved, the government tends to overreact because they don't tend to have the same level of knowledge and understanding.
That sometimes industry does not want government to regulate them for a couple of reasons. One, they worry that government doesn't fully understand, and so they worry that some of those regulations will come down without really knowing what implications they may have. So I do think the first step is for everyone to really have a much greater depth of understanding. And that may mean that some people in industry need to move into roles in government, or that government needs to partner more closely with different industry leaders for them to fully have the trust and understanding of all.
Essentially, I think the big get bigger. Despite what governments may want to do or regulators may want to do, a regulator can't, I think, control. It has to be self-regulation. I think the tech companies are going to increasingly have to look at their navels as to how they introduce things, implement things, and enforce them.